Hello my soccer universe, the new Serie A season is getting underway this weekend and I thought maybe to celebrate this let's do something what I did also for the Austrian Bundesliga, the other league that I really follow closely because of my two favorite teams of course. I show you jerseys for each of the teams that I have in my collection that are playing this season in Serie A. Currently it's 16 out of 20, tendency increasing. I have a real eye on the new Como jersey. There are some really nice ones. The last time I made a video like this was 2 years ago and my Serie A collection is quite wide, but I want to also avoid showing you jerseys, at least in detail, that I've already shown in that video, which I'm linking up here. Probably well worth your time. And so you will not see me talk a lot about these four jerseys here. We have here Torino. I'm still working on an away jersey, have not really found one that was interesting. Last season's probably was okay, but I didn't like it all too much. This season is actually quite nice, so not talking too much about this one. This will not fill up the wall. I still have to yet get other Udinese jerseys. I do like this one, it's just really tight. I would like to have a more modern one if you would like. Let's see about that. This season's in black is probably a candidate because, you know, this is more white, the other was more black, so that will balance out nicely. Cagliari, yeah, Cagliari. I probably should get an away jersey at one time. I still love this jersey to bits, but you know, I already talked about that one, and similar goes for Lecce. It's also one that's too tight, but I really like it much better than these seasons. But yeah, these four jerseys will not go up on the wall back there. We'll have 12 other jerseys for that. I'm wearing the 16-17 Milan jersey, which is one of my two choices for Milan as of now. I'm kind of trying to mimic the current Milan home jersey. I probably at one point will probably get it, but you know, I don't want to really push for it right now. But yeah, this is the Milan home jersey that I'll be wearing for now, in at least when it's cooler, and I have some long sleeve alternatives as well. That might be. I also want to do this time probably the other way around. I usually have been going from the bottom of the standings from last season up and then fill first here on the bottom and then on the top, which honestly looks a little bit shit. So we're gonna start from the top of the table, and the first teams are of course the champions and the new favorites Napoli, and I have decided to show you the Napoli away jersey from 2 seasons ago. This is only the basic version, but unlike last season's jerseys, the basic version looks very close to the actual version that the players were wearing on the pitch. The season was not very successful, but I have to say this was an absolute gorgeous design with the Bay of Naples, Mount Vesuvius. You have here a little bit Napoli in there as well. Scudetto nicely stitched, Napoli logo nicely stitched. It's overall quite nice. And then of course there are a ton of Napoli logos all over, which is an EA7 staple as of now. Really love this jersey. Probably should have get it printed, but you know, I'm not quite sure. Quara would be an obvious choice. On the other side, I think I would like to have Quara on my actual Napoli home jersey when they won for the first time the championship. So I have to think who else it would be. For the runners-up from last season and the losers of the Champions League final, I will never forget that one, and also the team that I probably support the least in Serie A. I love many teams in Italy, but as a Milan fan, this team I just cannot like. I went with a understated jersey. I think this was from the 18-19 season. I bought it ahead of the 23 Champions League final. I got a player version for a really low price from Willhaben, or I should say the Vapor Knit version. It doesn't necessarily be the player version, but you know, it has all the nice ventilation in there. Not that it really matters, because you will find me very unlikely in an Inter jersey. But I have to say this jersey is actually really nice. It is blank on the back. I was thinking if I could get something, but you know, I probably will leave it blank as is. Inter is not a top candidate to have jerseys printed for me, but it was really nice to see a 2018 Vapor Knit version and how light the construction is. It's a double XL, so it would actually fit me quite well. But as I said, me wearing an Inter jersey, not gonna happen easily. In third place last season was Atalanta, and this is my first ever Atalanta jersey from the 1920 season. I remember ordering this on Amazon. It was the only one available. I think this is only an L for Roma. Super tight. hence I have barely worn this one, but I have to say I really like this Atalanta jersey. From the design, I love that the goddess here is just by herself prancing around. The sponsors, that's of course the one thing that we have to talk about. If it was only the Radici group, okay, the U, this would actually be a decent jersey, but the U-Power kind of destroys the jersey. However, I think it's a pretty nice jersey overall. I also don't like the Gewiss sponsor here on the back. Why in orange? I mean, the same thing goes, why is the U-Power line here in red? Can we just use another color? Maybe go for blue to kind of fit in with the jersey? However that might be. I think this season Atalanta has a very nice away jersey as well. I was very happy that I got it though with the Serie A patch from that season and all full league specifications. Of course, no player on the back, and this was the great Atalanta team that made it to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. So in that sense, this jersey is special to me. There's also, I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up, a very faint outline of the city of Bergamo running on the bottom of the jersey, just printed in, which I think is another really nice touch. Let's go to the old lady, or the sick old lady. I always say the status of Serie A is often very well reflected by Juventus, at least as of late. When Juve is doing well, usually Serie A is doing well. Juve is not doing well at the moment. They're doing well in one regard though. Adidas is putting out a lot of cool jerseys. Maybe not the home jersey this season, but just look at the third jersey from last season. That's the one I decided to show you. You know it, it is gorgeous. And yes, I'm gonna print a Coccarda up there. I'm still debating. Sponsor, probably not. Should I get a print on the back? Or should I just leave it blank? It is really a wonderfully, beautifully jersey, just like that. One of the best creations that Adidas put out over the past years. The one thing that really drew me off when I got it, I always thought this is a black jersey. And you know, black jerseys, great, I love black jerseys. And then I saw it's actually a very dark blue. It's charcoal or bluish, there's also a little bit blue in there, which doesn't distract from it, or doesn't detract from it, I should rather say. But it surprised me at first, but still absolutely gorgeous shirt. That's probably the best jersey that I'm showing you in this video. This is of course not to say there aren't any other nice jerseys, and beauty is always in the eye of the beholder. It's just that I think this Juventus jersey is a really nice one. But this one here is also really nice. Roma, the 14-15 home jersey. To me, maybe not a necessary classic, but an absolute beautiful Roma jersey. Very well crafted from a time when Nike actually put out some more retro inspired designs. This is a jersey that I could well see having been worn in the 80s as well. It was also one of the last ones where Roma was wearing these white pants and black socks, which is a classic Roma look. I love just the sleeve cuffs here in orange. There's a little bit more orange coming here from there, or yellow. I mean, it's giallo rossi, but in reality, you know, we all know it's a little bit more on the orangey side as of late, although I think they want to go a little bit more into the yellow again. The best feature of this jersey, and maybe it's best seen on the back, is the very subtle pinstriping that is weaved into the fabric. Some wider stripes, but it actually gives the jersey some really nice classy structure. This one I bought, more than 10 years ago. It was an L, fit me back then in L. I wish I had it meanwhile in XL, if not a little bit bigger, because it's just such a beautiful, nice jersey that I can wear even regularly. Most people wouldn't necessarily recognize it for a football shirt, unless of course they know who Roma are. Let's go to another tourist hotspot in Italy, which is of course Florence. I decided to go with the 23-24 Fiorentina third jersey. Yes, it is dark purple, or maybe it's dark blue. I think it's dark purple with some purple accents, but I absolutely love the floral pattern here on the side. Makes it look quite nice. This also is a basic version, but I think this is one where Kappa did it right. It's very close. It looks very close to the actual version worn by the players on the pitch, without really compromising anything, and it's a more amenable fabric, and it was quite cheap. I think it was only around 40 euros or something like that I got it. So I always love when Kappa does that, to kind of pull out a few cheaper versions for the fans without actually making them look too dissimilar to the actual jerseys. It says here play to be different on back. It's rather plain. Yeah, probably should get some stuff made on that one, but it's also a jersey that I absolutely like and adore. And Fiorentina is also one of those teams that I have a very, very soft spot for. From the top teams in Italy, Lazio is probably the one that I have the least jerseys from, because with the 18-19 home jersey, you know, the one with the eagle that's in the 23 video, it is kind of not necessary because it covers the white and the light blue version, although probably should get a proper Lazio home jersey. Although the eagle jersey is a proper one. This is my favorite version, but you know, I had once purely light blue, but maybe I could get another one. I sold that one away. Not sure if this was the smartest choice, but who knows. The current one is actually quite nice. But since I've shown you that absolutely wonderful shirt, I decided to go with an alternate version. I think this was the away shirt from the same season, 18-19, by Macron. They just copied the design from the title-winning season in 99-2000 and made a black and light blue version out of it. It's an absolute gorgeous shirt, I have to say. I found this not too long ago on Vintage Football Area and was so pleased. They even marketed it wrong as the wrong season. So yeah, I was actually quite happy with that. I love the eagle here. I love that there's a little bit of structure to the bottom part, but not on the top. And of course that this extends to the sleeves. Yes, it's ripping off Puma. Big time, but you know, if it works, it just works. You also see here on the back. And then I think the year after they came out with an almost reverse version of this one, where it was light blue with black. That probably would be one that I would like to have. But you know, this was also an anniversary jersey. It's kind of a little bit more expensive. But you know, whatever it is, that's a version that I probably would like to have as an alternate. Because you know, the plain ones, you know, it's not too dissimilar. For instance, a Napoli jersey. But yeah, let's see. This I really like. It's nothing special. It doesn't beat the eagle jersey, but it is a quintessentially Lazio jersey, I would say. At least Lazio away. My OCD for this video went wild when I realized that I have two dark jerseys here, but even if I would have chosen a Fiorentina jersey in a different color, I still would have either two light ones next to each other, two dark ones, and I didn't want to repeat the eagle jersey. I wanted to get Lazio in, so yeah. Breaks it a little bit here. We have a bit more contrast. I also wanted to avoid that Lazio is next to Roma. We know those two absolutely love each other. Speaking of love, my team of course is Milan. Horrible last season in 8th place, losing the Coppa Italia final. It's just an absolute shit show. But maybe they are managing the turnaround in this window now. At least they have capable personnel on top. I'm not going to show you a Milan home jersey because I'm wearing one. So it was either a stand-in for the third jersey, which is in yellow this time around with green accents. And they said they modeled it on the one from 94-95. Well, that was purely yellow. There was no green in there. It should be red and black accents. But I decided I'll go with an away jersey, a more recent one. Of course, it does not come close to the one there because I don't have any weird Milan away jerseys. But this one at least is also retro inspired. That was from the 22-23 season. There's a Scudetto on there, and it is the only one where I have horizontal bands here. This was one of the first times that Puma actually got the Milan away jersey right, and I want to say ever since they largely did. So yeah, as I said, Scudetto is on there. I think I ordered this. They had just beaten Spurs in the Champions League, so I ordered this then straight from the Milan store. So that's why I got all the, you know, Serie A patch. The new one is so much better than this one. This is just flat. The new one has some plasticity to it. I got the Bitmix sponsor, and of course I also got on the back a print. Theo, unfortunately, he is gone. I'm of two minds. I mean, yes, he did not have a great season. There was a little bit unrest coming from him, but on the other side, there was never a deputy for him. So he had to play, and he played himself into the ground. Given that my brother has a son called Theo, this was also a no-brainer. But I loved Theo, especially around this time. And I think Milan could have done a little bit better with him. But yeah, this was a really, really nice and underrated Milan away jersey. One that I very fondly remember, even though it has this weird thing that the pattern is kind of boxed in instead of going all around, but it still looks quite nice. Let's go to the team that actually had a great season, only finishing in 9th spot. However, they won the Coppa Italia. So that's all that matters. This is of course Bologna. Last time I showed you the away jersey, which I really like this time. It's the home jersey that I showed you probably in the very first installment. I should have more Bologna jerseys. Should I get the third jersey or the fourth jersey from last season, the black one? I guess sooner or later. Bologna, yeah, I do like Bologna as well. There's something about it. This one to me is almost a perfect Bologna jersey. I think the perfect Bologna jersey for me is kind of a half striped look, but this one is very close. Little bit thicker stripes. It's almost a perfect Barcelona jersey, and for me a Bologna jersey, and especially when you look at the crest, it's a bastardization of a Milan and a Barcelona crest. So yeah, kind of fits in that, but very distinctive look. I love the VR1 on the back. I love that Bologna is actually really doing well in Serie A, but I also love the sponsor here. It is so simple, but it looks quite well. So I don't think Bologna have really improved on this jersey over the past few years. Okay, we are skipping over Torino, we are skipping over Udinese, we're going straight to Genoa in 13. It's going back and forth home, or the third, or was it the fourth jersey? I decided on the fourth jersey that celebrated 130 years. Yes, that's a 130th anniversary. It's the oldest team in Italy, and I'm losing it. This is also one that I found a cup, but this is more closer to the player version. But it doesn't have all the sponsors on there. It makes this a very clean jersey. The Grifo stands on its own, which I think is also nice. I thought, you know, this will be my Genoa away jersey stand-in, and I don't need another one until they release this gorgeous jersey with the red cross this season, which is probably second in my list of jerseys that I wanna get that are not Milan jerseys. But hey, we'll see about that. I absolutely love this jersey. It has the founding year, and then, you know, kind of this pattern with the Grifo also going on the back. It's blank on the back, and I probably intend to keep it this way. And yes, it's more of a beige than it's really a gold, but you know, we know that this should be gold, and we always should celebrate Genoa for being the oldest team in Italy. Verona had a pretty good season and finished in 14th, and I decided to go with the Verona away jersey. I just was in Verona and I bought a jersey. You'll see it on my channel soon. But I decided to go with this yellow away jersey. Verona is back with yellow away jerseys. Actually, it looks quite nice this season, but I don't think it's as nice as this one. That's why I did not get that one. Spoiler alert, but there was another yellow jersey that was in contention for being bought by me. I love the basic design. Yellow, but you have the blue chest strap. That always will get me, although maybe it's this, but I think in this case it really works well. We have only one sponsor, although I think they were wearing two. But what really got me with this jersey is the sleeves. And it's rare that I say the sleeves are the best part of a jersey, but in this case it's absolutely true. We have here the arena in Verona, we have some other cityscape, we have the bridge over the Adige River. So yeah, there's quite a lot to look at, and it's on both sleeve cuffs, and this makes this jersey absolutely outstanding. It's so pretty, this little details like that really get me. But overall it's also a really nice jersey, you know, also trimmed here on the side in blue. Very well done. And on the back, to say Verona, you are Verona, and there's of course the ladder from the Scaglieri family who ruled Verona, and has nothing to do with Romeo and Juliet. This Verona jersey here was part of a big desire for me in the summer of 2024, so last summer, where I really wanted to have that one. I saw it in the Verona store, but shipping was 20 and I just could not get myself to buy it, and I found it fortunately in the classic football shirts. But there was another jersey on classic football shirts, and I think I got them then almost at the same time that I was really desiring at the point. I really felt I need something. I need Serie A jerseys. I need Serie A jerseys. And this particular team has been one of my favorite teams in Serie A ever since going back to the 90s. They were really exciting there. However, they have fallen from grace a little bit, which to me is a shame. It is of course Parma, and for the longest of time I had the away jersey from this 18-19 season, I still have it, that I would use as a stand-in because it was similar to Verona in yellow and blue but horizontal striping, but I knew I would need to get one with a black cross. This is my first ever jersey with a cross, and I was also going back and forth on the versions, but in the end just doubling up the one that I have with the away jersey seemed right to me. I'm still not quite onto with Parma and the black cross. I remember the ones from the 90s where they were white and had a little bit yellow and blue on the shoulders or somewhere in the design. But I understand this was a design they have been wearing, I think in the 70s, a little bit as a reference also to Juventus. That's why the black and white, because it otherwise doesn't fit. But at least it's in the crest here. There is a black cross, so I kind of get it. And yeah, it's unique. It's definitely unique. Let's talk about overall. I love the color on this one. I love that it's double XL, and still area is so tight that it still feels kind of a little bit tightish. But you know, it is. I can wear it comfortably. The one thing, the one bone of contention. This here is great. Why is this red here? Couldn't we have it in black or at least in blue? Why do we need to have this in red? Other than that, there's not much there. The sleeve cuff similar to the collar here, absolutely gorgeous. And then on the back we have Parma Calcio and one of my favorite sponsors, Beretta, Viva la Mamma. Even though it also doesn't quite fit on this jersey, make this black and white and maybe yellow, blue, ba-da-da-da. This is another issue that probably I should discuss. I love when sponsors fit in with the jersey and do not add some additional color touches. So yeah, that's the last one that I'm gonna show you in this video. And yeah, it got it last season, finally. Hope that Parma stays in for longer. So there you go, 12 Serie A jerseys that I've been showing you, plus 4 that I already did show you in previous videos. And yes, let's hope for a great Serie A season. I expect actually quite an interesting title fight, although Napoli seem to be the overwhelming favorites at this moment. But we're not talking about the league itself. For that I have my Football Talk channel. I would like to know which one of these jerseys do you like best. Do you agree with me that maybe the Juventus jersey is the best one? Although there are some really nice ones. I mean, the Roma jersey I absolutely love. I love the Napoli jersey. The Genoa jersey in gold is something special. Even the Verona jersey. Fiorentina, and I don't want to point too much at Milan, but I also thought this was a quite nice away jersey. In any case, I would like to hear your opinion. Also, did you get any Serie A jerseys as of late? I already made my list of the new jerseys, which ones I would like to have, and what's the top, the second, and so on. It's never gonna stop. It's never gonna stop. I told my wife already, it's never gonna stop. We need to make some space somewhere for more Serie A or general football shirts. There's nothing like too many football jerseys, at least in my world. And I have a very understanding wife. I also love the same. In any case, I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, here are also some other videos and playlists that you might enjoy as well. Please leave me a like or a comment, subscribe to my channel, it always helps, and I wish you a wonderful day. Bye!